Alex woke before her alarm, her heart already beating too fast. For a moment she lay still, staring at the ceiling, trying to remember what had pulled her out of sleep. A sound. A feeling. A dream she could not quite grasp. The room was dim, washed in the pale grey of early morning. Everything looked normal. But she did not feel normal. She sat up slowly. Her flat was silent. No footsteps from the neighbors. No cars outside. No hum from the radiator. The quiet felt unnatural, as if the world were holding its breath again. She swung her legs out of bed and stood. Her body felt heavy, as if she had not slept at all. She walked to the kitchen, rubbing her eyes. She filled the kettle and switched it on. The click of the button sounded too loud in the stillness. While she waited for it to boil, she glanced toward the living room. The paper with the symbol was still on the coffee table. She looked away quickly. She made tea, wrapped her hands around the mug, and tried to steady her breathing. She needed to go to work. She needed to act normal. She needed to stop letting a piece of paper and a fictional chapter get inside her head. She took a sip of tea. Then she froze. Her phone buzzed on the counter. A single notification. She reached for it, expecting a message from Jamie or a calendar reminder. It was neither. It was an email. From the Elias Thorne creative team. Her stomach tightened. She opened it with trembling fingers. Subject: your next step awaits. Alex stared at the words. Her pulse thudded in her ears. She scrolled down. Dear Alex, we hope you enjoyed the beginning of your immersive experience. A new element has been prepared for you. Look closely. You will recognize it. No attachment. No signature. No symbol. Just those lines. She swallowed hard. Her hands felt cold. She set the phone down and walked slowly into the living room. The air felt heavier with each step. She scanned the room, her eyes moving from the sofa to the shelves to the coffee table. Nothing looked different. She checked the hallway. The bathroom. The bedroom. Everything was exactly as she had left it. She returned to the living room and stood still, listening. Silence. She forced herself to breathe. Maybe the email was automated. Maybe it was part of the marketing campaign. Maybe she was letting her imagination run wild. She turned toward the window. And stopped. Something was on the glass. A small shape. Dark. Precise. She stepped closer. A symbol. Drawn in the condensation. A circle intersected by a vertical line. Her breath caught. She stared at it, unable to move. The symbol was perfect. Clean. Deliberate. As if someone had drawn it with a fingertip while she slept. She reached out and touched the glass. The symbol smudged slightly under her finger. It was real. It was fresh. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She stepped back, her mind racing. She had closed the curtains last night. She remembered doing it. She always did. She walked to the window and pulled the curtains aside. They were open. Wide open. She stared at them, her pulse thudding in her ears. She had not opened them. She was certain. She would have remembered. She checked the latch. Locked. Secure. No sign of tampering. She stepped back again, her breath shallow. The fictional chapter flashed through her mind. The second echo. The moment the victim realized the intrusions were not random. The moment the story began to bleed into their life. She walked to the sofa and sat down, her hands shaking. She picked up her phone and opened the fictional chapter again. She scrolled until she found the paragraph she was looking for. The second sign appears where the victim feels safest. A mark left in a place no one should have reached. A quiet reminder that the story has already begun. Alex closed her eyes. This was not a coincidence. She opened her eyes and stared at the symbol on the window. The condensation around it was beginning to fade, but the shape remained clear. Someone had been here. Someone had touched her window. Someone had opened her curtains. She grabbed her phone and typed a message to Jamie.
Something else happened.
He replied almost instantly.
What now?
Alex hesitated. She looked at the symbol again. She felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She typed.
There is a symbol on my window, drawn in the condensation, and my curtains were open.
Jamie replied.
Are you sure you did not open them last night?
Alex stared at the message. She felt a flicker of anger. Not at him. At the situation. At the doubt that kept creeping into every conversation.
I am sure. Someone was here.
Jamie sent another message.
Call the police.
Alex stared at the words. She wanted to. She wanted someone to take this seriously. She wanted someone to tell her she was not imagining it. But what would she say? Someone drew a symbol on my window. Someone opened my curtains. Someone left a piece of paper on my floor. It sounded ridiculous. It sounded paranoid. It sounded like the beginning of a story she did not want to be part of. She typed.
Think about it.
Jamie replied.
Do not think. Call.
Alex did not respond. She stood and walked to the window again. The symbol was fading now, the lines softening as the condensation evaporated. Soon it would disappear completely. But she had seen it. She had felt it. She stepped back and wrapped her arms around herself. The fictional chapter was no longer a story. It was a script. And someone was following it.